Cup. This year here at the Royal Horse Show, we are going to welcome back Secret Ambition and Ronnie Davidson. Now, Secret Ambition is very proudly owned. The owner and breeder is Sandra Laprise of Alfred, Ontario. The sire is Sir Wannabe, and the dam is Whites in Vogue. Ronnie Davidson handled the 3-year-old, making the stroll into our ceremony area. And making the presentation to our Cup winner is Mr. and Mrs. John Rumble. Kind and generous sponsor of the Governor General's Cup for many, many years. John and his horse Kilroy were members of the 1956 bronze medal eventing team in Stockholm, Sweden. John, a longtime supporter of equestrian sport and especially breeding here in Canada. Total of 21 horses in our 3-year-old division showed this morning, and we are about to congratulate the champion, Secret Ambition, for the Governor General's Cup. So Ronnie will get into position. We have the first of our trophies to be presented. We'd also like to salute the Lieutenant Governor's Cup winner. Just be a little careful. Ronnie Davidson, the handler for the owner and breeder, Sandra Laprise of Alfred, Ontario. We'll get a quick look. Looks like our 3-year-old is celebrating the victory as well. There's a good look. We thank John Rumble for joining us. And we will also recognize the presentation of the Lieutenant Governor's Cup. The Lieutenant Governor's Cup, kindly sponsored by the Canadian Sport Horse Association. And making this presentation, of course, is the Lieutenant Governor, the Honorable Elizabeth Dowdeswell and Sue Grange, on behalf of the Canadian Sport Horse Association. A double winner, Secret Ambition, was also the Lieutenant Governor's Cup winner in the undersaddle phase, owned and bred by Sandra Laprise of Alfred, Ontario. The rider in the undersaddle class was Leslie Bolat. We congratulate a champion and a winner in both categories early today on our Sport Horse Thoroughbred Saturday of the Royal Horse Show. Governor General's Cup winner and also a Lieutenant Governor's Cup winner as well. Sue Grange joining the Lieutenant Governor for this special award. There we go with a group photo and honoring this 3-year-old and earned the title in both classes. First class where confirmation, the class was judged on the line. And the second class is what we are honoring at this time. The Lieutenant Governor's Cup is an under saddle class where the 3-year-olds were shown at a walk, trot, and canter and then evaluated in confirmation. Very nicely done for the winner of both cups. And the Royal is proud to welcome Hudson's Bay, tonight's presenting sponsor of the Big Bend Challenge.
In 1788, David Thompson was working for Hudson's Bay Company when he broke his leg so badly he almost died. but he didn't die. David Thompson became the greatest mapmaker who ever lived, traveling 90,000 kilometers throughout North America and mapping 4.9 million square kilometers along the way.
You could call him the original man in motion.
We are a country of adventurers.
Art battle at the Royal Winter Fair.
To say that we have some of our very, very best painters here tonight. We have 12 amazing artists.
All right, painters, you've been painting for 4 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for these painters so far, yeah? You can tell me that. You should start thinking about grabbing your voting ballot from these fine people right here. You need to grab a ballot in order to have your say inside. All right, ladies and gentlemen, big hands for Adele. I mean, these painters. Painters, you've been painting for 7 minutes. You have 13 minutes left of round 2 of our final Royal Winter Fair. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise, give them some energy. Go art battle!
And on behalf of the city of Mississauga, I would like to congratulate you on the honor of being the very first goat to travel by GO train from beautiful Mississauga to the Royal Winter Fair in Toronto. So on behalf of the city of Mississauga, I would like to wish you a very, very safe journey. Congratulations, Turbo.
It's critically important that we celebrate our past, and the Royal is absolutely the Canadian way to do it. So it's really important that we integrate our transit and we integrate it on a regional scale so that we can all move together.
box up your dreams and wait for a miracle. The fallen man's free, his mind is formidable. Tie up my heart from breaking away, away, oh. We made our minds from gold with new liberty. Our shifting thought, a lifting energy. Protect our hearts from breaking away, away, oh.
It celebrates our excellence as Canadians.
Has become extremely well known and very relevant, very important to the international audience.
This is so much fun. There are so many activities here.
He doesn't need your help until he does. 3 cylinders, dual overhead cams, and 50 horsepower. Go bold, go powerful, go Gator.
Christmas at all, 'cause I remember when you were here and all the fun we had last year. Pretty lights on the tree, I'm watching them shine. You should be here with me, baby, please come home.
It's in the nows that life is lived. Don't let them pass you by. Jump into them. Immerse yourself in them. Because it's the nows that make the journey worthwhile. The Wild Atlantic Way. 2,500 kilometers of extraordinary nows. Jump into Ireland. Visit ireland.com to find out more.
Do, 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 do.
This shit, that ice cold Michelle fight for that white gold. This one for them hood girls, them good girls, straight masterpieces. Styling, wildin', living it up in the city. Got Chuck's on with Saint Laurent. Gotta kiss myself, I'm so pretty. I'm too hot. Call the police and the fireman. I'm too hot. Make a dragon wanna retire, man. I'm too hot. Say my name, you know who I am. I'm too hot. time. flow, sisters.
Hey, sister, go, sister, soul, sister, flow, sister.
Let them know we bout that cake straight out the gate. We independent women, some mistake us for whores. I'm saying, why spend mine when I can spend yours? Disagree? Well, that's you, and I'm sorry. I'ma keep playing these cats out like a car. High heel shoes, getting love from the dudes, for badass chicks from the Moulin Rouge. Hey, sisters, soul sisters, better get that dough, sisters. We drink wine with diamonds in the glass by the case, the meaning of expensive taste. You want an inche, yeah. Come on, mocha chocolate. What? Rio Lady Mama.
Ladies and gentlemen, given the recent events in Paris, France, the Royal Agricultural Winter Fair extends its heartfelt condolences to the victims and families of those who lost their lives yesterday. With our Canadian and international riders in the Royal Ring to compete tonight, we join everyone in the world in the hope that we will one day live free from such despicable acts of terror. In the meantime, our sympathies to the citizens of France and all those who are touched by this senseless loss.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, a very, very warm welcome to the Royal Horse Show and the Big Ben International Challenge here on TSN. Tonight it is the Big Ben Challenge. Of course, it's the one the riders have all been talking about, and the title that they all want to win. We can see our athletes now out on track. They're beginning their inspection. Those fences are high, those fences are wide, and it's going to be the biggest challenge that they've faced here this week. Now, joining us for this extraordinary night of international sports is Peter Doubleday and Nancy Wetmore.
Thank you very much, Adam. And the riders are out walking the course, preparing for our $75,000 Big Ben International Challenge presented by Hudson's Bay. This has always been the grand finale, the traditional final night here at the Royal Horse Show. And Nancy, we have another incredible, outstanding field of horses and riders.
It's just fantastic, Peter, to sit up here and watch all this unfold. And Richard Jeffrey has made them really put their jumping boots on this week. There's been a lot of money up for grabs. The World Cup qualifier we saw was just absolutely fantastic. And tonight, of course, the $75,000 Big Ben. They're going to have to work hard for that prize money.
So you say working hard for the prize money. Is this as tough of a course as we saw in the Longines FEI World Cup Jumping Toronto on Wednesday night?
Certainly not height-wise, it's not, although there are some meter-60 verticals, but there is $75,000 up for grabs. We're at the end of the week. I think stamina is going to come into play. Some of these horses may be getting a little bit tired. The riders have to be on their game tonight.
Well, Nancy, you also saw the Hickstead Trophy awarded on Wednesday during our Longines FEI World Cup jumping. Tonight we'll award a trophy on behalf of another legend, and of course Big Ben. And you saw Big Ben jump quite a bit, I'm sure, in your career.
Oh, I sure did, and I'm just so proud to be able to say that I knew those horses when they were on the top of their game and watched them perform. It's a thrill just as I look back and think about them even now.
So here at the Royal, we honor two legends in show jumping from the equestrian and from the equine end of things, with Hickstead Trophy offered on Wednesday. Tonight, the Big Ben Challenge. Tonight's class being presented by Hudson's Bay. We have a field of 20 horses and riders that will show in a time first jump off formula over our Richard Jeffrey design course. Richard, you mentioned on Wednesday, Nancy, that Richard really, right from the start, on all his courses, he has a trademark.
Well, I think his trademark is probably his distances. They're very subtle. They look just fine on paper. But time and time again, I've noticed that when you see a line of fences or jumps that are related in distance, if you don't nail that first one, somewhere down the end of the line, you're going to have a rail. And his distances are all very subtle. And this evening, we're going to see several related lines. So these horses and riders are going to have to be very, very in tune with each other to have a clean round.
Well, every fence is going to count. It is a time first jump off format. 20 to show in the opening round of the $75,000 Big Ben International Challenge. It will lead into our international leading rider titles. That is still up for grabs. We have 5 riders in contention for the leading rider of the entire week, and also the All-Canadian Cup with our Canadian riders and the top Canadian horse of the week, all being honored following the Big Ben Challenge. Lots coming up here on our Saturday night. Riders continuing to walk and prepare, and we'll be show jumping here in just a few minutes.
Once upon a time in the bayou, shacking up in New Orleans, some old man in the garbage can turned to me and spilled the beans. Said, pay no mind to my condition, seen the world far and wide. They got treasures here, they got treasures there, but carry mine around inside. Wherever you go, wherever you go, you gotta let that light burn. Wherever you go, wherever you go, wherever you go, you gotta let that light burn. Wherever you go. I caught a train up to Memphis, Mississippi on my side. Preacher man with a southern tan started getting sanctified. Said a man like me in my position knows about the golden rule. I gave away my possessions and my heart is my only jewel. Wherever you go, wherever you go, you gotta let that light burn. Wherever you go, wherever you go, wherever you go, you gotta let that light burn. Wherever you go. What you gonna do on the days when the tide is low? How you gonna feel in the cold when the four winds blow? How will you react when the cracks in your armor grow? Let that love light show.
Our course designer was here in the Royal Horse Show designing back in 1994 and 1995. He makes a return to the Royal Horse Show this year, and truly one of the very best in the world. And Adam Cromartie is down in center ring with Richard Jeffrey.
That must make you feel really old. You were last here back in 1995. Has it changed much?
Oh, much. This is a whole new hall. The first time I've been here, and yeah, I do feel old.
Well, you've built some incredible tracks so far for us this week. Now, early on in the track, I found this line really interesting because this is fence 2. It's very Canadian, it's very wide, and we were chatting earlier, and the kind of old school of thought would be that the horses would land quite long after this.
Yeah, triple bar used to be in the old-fashioned courses where it was just galloping. They would gallop down to it, jump out. Now you find the horses land much shorter over it. The idea we use a triple bar is to change the shape of the horse. So not every horse is going to jump this the same. And this really sets up the next jump. Often you hear people talk about a bogey fence. Often the bogey fence is not the one that keeps coming down. It's the fence before that creates the problem to the next fence. Because right after this, we've got a very narrow wall. And it's on a little short distance. So it really depends on how they jump this, how they jump the wall.
Yeah, there is a chance as they land here, the horses might be a little bit flat, so I think we might see them taking a check as they come down towards fence 3.
And of course, you've got those little light bricks on the top, which is, and it takes a touch to knock those off.
That means you're evil.
No, just testing.
Yeah, testing, and I think it's a really fair track. Is there any other tests on track that you think might be ones we should be watching out for?
Well, you've got the line coming up after the in-gate. You've got a vertical come away from the in-gate. It's a little forward to the Oxer double, Oxer vertical double. Anything just hold up past the in-gate, that might be a little troublesome for 1 or 2 horses. You know, you hope it's all spread around the course, but you can never tell. When you're dealing with 2 animals, the horse and the rider, you've got 2 people that can do something they shouldn't do, or you hope they do something right together, and that's, the game.
Now we're going to ask you the question. It's the question every course designer hates. We have a look and see how many are in the first round. There's 20. It's a jump-off competition, so we're going to bring our clears back. How many clears are we going to have?
If I could get 5 back, I'd be happy. But, fingers crossed and, lap of the gods. But we'll see what we can do.
Well, we've had some really exciting sport. Great to have you back. And please don't leave it another 10, 20 years before you come back.
Won't probably be around in 20 years.
Well, I hope you are. Well, we've got an incredible lineup here this evening. Georgina Bloomberg, Matt Cohen, Dermot Lennon, and Laura Crouch. She's on track, and it's her 50th birthday here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give her a big cheer. Laura Crouch, it's her birthday here at the Royal Horse Show.
Thank you very much, Adam. And we have the start list coming up on the screen up above. Field of 20, as he alluded to, with the top competitors in our Royal Horse Show. And we see Georgina Bloomberg with the lead-off spot. We have the riders representing the United States and, of course, Canada. And the other countries that are involved, we have Belgium, Colombia, Ireland, and New Zealand will be a part of the mix here tonight. A field of 20, and you can check things out. Page 1, page 2 now, the leaderboard with a total of 20 to show here in the opening round. And we have mentioned, Nancy, a star-studded field. As always, this is the grand finale. Someone wants to really, really take home the Big Ben Challenge.
Well, they absolutely do. And, we spoke earlier about what a fantastic horse Big Ben has and a legacy that he's left us here. And, of course, they want to walk home with that prize money.
So we are going to ask the riders to finish up the course walk. The course is now closing, so we'll appreciate it. We need to get underway. We know everybody wants to get to see the first of 20 competitors here in the opening round. So the course is now closed. Thank you. Appreciate it. Riders up. Thank you very much, riders. We'll ask you to kindly finish up the course walk. I'd like to get underway with the first of 20. Course is now closed. Course is now closed. Once again, course is now closed, riders. Thank you. First is about to appear. The time allowed, 76 seconds for the opening round. Time first jump off with the format. Penalty of 4 balls assessed for a knockdown. The first refusal is 4, and the second refusal will eliminate our competitor from the competition. Time allowed is 76 seconds, receiving 1 time fault for every 4 seconds over the time allowed. For FEI foreign judge David M. Disler, we have John Taylor, Kathy Roy on the jury, Alex Drillis in the field, and Richard Jeffrey, our course designer from Tournament England. Also, our thanks to Jeremy Denouden and the Royal Ring Crew, the very best in the land, and also we salute Evie Frisk and the Royal Flower Crew, as well as they have decorated all of our courses for the last 9 days. One more day coming up on our Sunday program. Time allowed is 76 seconds for the opening round. We have 20 to show, and our first horse and rider about to make their way down to shoot. We hope that you'll enjoy the $75,000 Big Bend International Challenge being presented tonight by Hudson's Bay. We are ready to get underway with the $75,000 Big Bend International Challenge presented by Hudson's Bay. Here from New York City representing the United States, let's welcome Georgina Bloomberg and Kalino 3, 11-year-old Hessen German bred, owned by the Gotham Enterprises of New York.
Well, Georgina has the nasty task of showing everybody else how to ride around the course, but she's an established rider. Kalino Z was second in the Old Salem Grand Prix just this summer.
So we are underway, Nancy, and as you mentioned, this is a tough task, always going first. You're trying to get within the time allowed. You're trying to test out all these distances.
Well, so far so good. This is a really airy oxer here, not much to have them stand away. And the next jump that they're coming to, fence number 5, it's got a Liverpool behind it. That's a blue panel of water that the horses sometimes peek down and have a look at that and drop their legs and have a rail.
So far, a very attentive ride for Georgina.
Coming to the triple. 2 verticals with 2 strides in between, 1 stride to an oxer. Just terrific so far.
Looks like she's showing the way very well here tonight. She's a seasoned rider, Grand Prix winner in Central Park, New York, Grand Prix winner in Wellington, Florida earlier this year. You mentioned about this angle going into this vertical.
It's quite an acute angle, and I think we may see this jump come down a little bit, but so far so good for Georgina.
Little serpentine finish.
1 more to go.
And how about that? A leadoff competitor Georgina Bloomberg and her mount Kalino 3 with a clear round, penalty-free, and they used up 73-20. Time allowed 76 for our opening round.
Well, that was really a terrific opener. She just came in. She had a plan in mind. We see her coming to the triple, the 2 verticals, and then stretching out over the oxer. Great job by Kalino. And this fence number 11, I think maybe we're going to see it. She tipped it a little bit in front, but it stayed up. Super job.
Ladies and gentlemen, a winning rider from last evening in the West End Speed. We introduced representing Belgium. How about a nice warm welcome for Nicolas Philippert and his mount H&M Harley Bishop. This is an 8-year-old gelding, is owned by Ben Beavers and his father Ludo Philippert.
It's great to see Nicola back again. This is the 4th year we've seen he and his twin brother here. Bishop has had a great season, first in the Washington International Horse Show Speed Final and first in a Table A in Brussels. Peter, he would have been watching in the in gate to see exactly what Georgina did and hopes he can follow that route.
Well, the time allowed looks very comfortable early on here. 73. Georgina was nicely under that time allowed. What do you think it is about competing with your twin brother? How do you think that carries through all the time?
Well, I think that it probably works well when they walk the course, but when it comes to who's going to win or not, I think it's every man for himself.
I would agree. As we mentioned earlier, he's part of a very legendary family in Belgium, and both boys have represented Belgium in Nations Cup finals and European championships. Done very, very well.
Peter, these horses are jumping tonight. The riders have got them right exactly where they want them to be, and here's another horse just looking fantastic.
Might be making our course center a little nervous.
Well, we've got 2 top riders at the beginning, and that's sometimes a little bit deceiving, but we'll see how the night unfolds. One more to go for a jump off.
Here we go with the Longines Oxer. And 2 for 2 here early on. Nicolas Philippert is a winner last evening, and his mount H&M Harley Bishop with a 2nd clear round. They toured the course in 7:0:09. Time allowed is 76.
Well, there really wasn't very much wrong with this whole course with Nicholas and Bishop. He just handled everything easily. Here's the Green Hawk double, oxer going in, vertical coming out. And again, this horse, this jump on quite an acute angle, but he just aired it. Just a fantastic jump over that.
3rd rider in our lineup here this evening. She is the 4th ranked rider in the world on the Longines World Rankings, representing the United States from Casanova, New York. Here is BZ Madden and Breitling LS. Abigail Wexner out of Ohio, listed as the owner of this 9-year-old Dutch warm blood stallion, Breitling LS.
Well, this is one of the younger horses in BZ's vast string, but I know she likes him quite a lot. He was 2nd in a Grand Prix in New Albany and 4th in the World Cup in Lexington just a few weeks ago.
So Breitling, a very talented newcomer. And I must say that all of BZ's horses are obviously always exceptionally well trained. They all have the best names. All 1-syllable names.
Yes, they do. And
great for an announcer, you know.
BZ will be looking for a clean round tonight. She's had just a little bit of tough luck this week in finding the winner's circle. Just 4 faults here and 4 faults there. Just nothing major, but just keeping her out of the winner's circle. So she'll be really looking for a clean round.
Very high on this horse. This is a newcomer just within the last year and a half to her show jumping string, and she has a very long show jumping string thanks to Abigail Wexner.
He gave quite a funny little skip between A and B there, but it didn't hamper his jumping at all.
Looking very comfortable. What about bowing out? This seems not to be a factor early on.
Well, so far so good.
tonight, Breitling LS and BZ Man for the United States, giving us 3 for the time jump off here early on.
We see a nice smile on BZ's face for that, and as I say, she's just had a little bit of tough luck this particular week trying to find the winner's circle, just with a little hiccup here and there, but gosh, not tonight. This horse is really on form. See him over the Royal Vertical. BZ, of course, is always on form. Never a mistake made by her.
And wipe the 6, ready music, go music.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we introduce the first of the riders for Canada tonight. They're from Edmonton, Alberta. A nice welcome and return for Lisa Carlson and World Judgment. The entry, a 12-year-old Dutch warm-blood mare owned by the WJ Partners.
Well, it's just terrific to have Lisa back in her hometown again. We saw her so much on the Great Kahlua. Then she left us and went out west, but was still very, very competitive. World's Judgment was first in a Table A at the Rocky Mountain Show Jumping and won a Grand Prix in the Oregon High Desert. This is probably not the easiest horse to ride, although I don't think Lisa likes horses that are easy to ride. I think everything that she has, she really likes a challenge, and this one's a very, very scopy jumper, but sometimes just wants to take things in her own mind.
You know, it's great to see her back with a really star horse, because it's been a while.
Oh, absolutely.
And actually competing out west, it's a whole different ballgame. And you come back, you're with the big players here at the Royal. And fits in perfectly.
I saw this horse in Spruce Meadows in September, and it actually, a venue like that suited him, or her, pardon me, a little bit better, a big wide open field. But Lisa's got her right tonight. She's really got her focus on, and see a back rail coming down on fence number 8.
So the first knockdown of the night, and we have another knockdown, the Green Hawk combination.
And she really scrambled
yes.
over top of that. I think the width surprised World's Judgment.
Well, she fits in with the world's best, and we have a score of 12 points for World's Judgment and Lisa Carlson from out west. She makes her return here to the Toronto area. 3 knockdowns and 4 apiece, and a score of 12.
Again, a lot of times this horse doesn't let Lisa get her to where she should be for the optimum takeoff. She kind of takes things into her own mind, and here we see both times, although she really, as I said earlier, I think got very surprised by the width on both those oxers. And here we see the front rail coming down, so all a problem with oxers today.
Part of the winning team in the Nations Cup final in Barcelona, Spain, as he represented his home country of Belgium. Let's welcome the twin brother of the Philippere group. Here is Olivier Philippere and the 9-year-old mare H&M, Legend of Love, under the ownership of Gerald Northrup and Ludo Philippere.
Well, this is Olivier's go-to horse for a class like this. It's a big, scopy horse. He's had many wins, as Peter alluded to, and looking to get into that jump-off field.
Now, Olivier has developed into being the taller of the 2 twins, so they're a little easier to recognize now, which is very helpful.
Yes, when they're standing beside each other, it's much easier. Olivia, of course, in 2012, the youngest rider to win the CN $1 million class in Spruce Meadows, which was an exciting event. I remember being there. Liverpool not causing any problems so far this evening, but these horses have seen so much. There are some younger ones. I'll point them out when they come in, but a horse like this has seen all these tricks, and nothing surprises them.
Do you think the length of the season has anything to do with any factor in jumping, let's say, on the last night at the Royal?
I think certainly some of the riders don't have a second and third horse that they can rely on. Those horses, as I said earlier, Peter, stamina may come into play a little bit, but also by this time, he really abused that rail and it stayed there. By this time of year, they're so fit, and they can rely on that fitness to see them through. And there's another clear round.
Coming home with a clear round, and he'll be back for our time jump off. And we have the brothers from Belgium making up our field now. We have 4 of 5 with successful outings.
Sort of a little tick on the back rail of that Oxer coming in, but fence number 11, I don't know whether we're going to see it again. It really rolled around. And a great jump over the last. Quality ride tonight.
Here's our defending champion as a rider in our Big Bend International Challenge. She won last year from the United States. We welcome Leslie Howard, and her Grand Prix mount is Gentile van Spielberg. Peter and Leslie Howard are the owners of this 9-year-old Belgian warm blood gelding.
Well, this is a new mount to Leslie String, but I know she's very, very high on this horse, and as she should be. First in the Grand Prix in Harrisburg at the Penn National a few weeks ago.
I must say, Nancy, that Leslie is on her horses all day long, and getting them used to the in-gates. She's riding in all the distractions, especially here at the Royal Winter Fair.
Well, and again, Peter, with a younger horse like this, I suspect it hasn't had a lot of experience indoors, which can make a big difference. The jumps come up much more quickly. The atmosphere, you can hear the buzz in the arena, so I can understand why she wants to do that. And she's a student of the game as well. She knows what she has to get done to make these horses perfect.
So your assessment of the course early on, I mean, it looks fairly comfortable. Obviously, we have a lot of clear rounds.
I think it is. I think that when I spoke to Richard earlier, he said when he built on Wednesday, he built for a World Cup qualifier, so it was quite a bit more substantial. And he said tonight is for a Grand Prix.
There's a rail down in the Greenhawk combination. I was just about to say that he's going to reach his quota because he was estimating maybe he might have 5 or 6 clear possibly in the class.
Well, it's always such a difficult question to ask a course designer because you do your best, you look at the field, you do your best, and sometimes it can go one way or the other quite rapidly.
Leslie Howard for the United States and Gentile van Spielberg. They had to knock down the first part of the Greenhawk double combination and also a time infraction of 1, grand total of 5.
Well, obviously Leslie's happy with that. She's giving him a good pat, and the horse did jump really, really well. He just got caught with that back rail. It's like they're not reading the width of that jump particularly. I'm just going to take a peek here and see. Yeah, it's 1.60 meters, so that's a wide oxer for these horses to negotiate.
Representing Canada in our lineup, here is the second. Excuse me. Our next rider on course, we'll introduce our next competitor for Colombia. Here is Roberto Terán and Oklahoma. Let's welcome him to our first round lineup. He's up on the 12-year-old Dutch warm blood mare owned by Arc Partners, Roberto Terán for Colombia.
Well, Roberto's always a favorite of mine, and I know that he feels that certainly the Toronto area is like a second home, and I love this mare of his. She's really a trier. She was first in the $35,000 Elmarock Welcome at the National Horse Show just a few weeks ago.
Well, Roberto has represented his country twice now in Pan American Game competition and also veteran of the World Equestrian Games. He loves it here at the Royal.
Wow, look at the scope of this mare. She's very, very light off the ground, and Roberto gives her such an accurate ride.
nice to see him have a few horses. Actually, quite a few horses are showing in the Grand Prix ranks, and he is a very busy rider. He's showing a lot now.
Yeah, and that's a rail that I really wouldn't have expected her to have. A little bit lucky on that one, but you have to be lucky to be good.
We call that wiggling the wood a little bit.
Absolutely. And the second vertical coming down.
Probably a little disappointing for Roberto.
Yeah. She has had a long season, this mare.
Yes.
Has jumped a lot of big jumps, and as I said earlier, stamina may just come into play, but she just had so many amazing jumps as well.
Roberto Turan representing Columbia, his Mount Oklahoma for the ARC partners. They had a 2 knockdown effort, finishing up with a score of 8 here in the first round.
I think Roberto got her there just fine. She just did not get those front legs out of the way, whether it was a focus thing or not. She had so many big jumps over the Oxer. It's interesting that she had 2 of what you sort of think of as the simple verticals coming down. So a bit of a disappointment finish for Roberto this evening.
Well, I'm guessing you know who this rider is. Once again, let's welcome for Canada, Ian Miller, Captain Canada, and Teddy Duboscatel. Emily Kidd's listed as the owner, and Ian is piloting a 12-year-old Belgian sport horse gelding.
Well, this is a horse new to Ian. It actually belongs to one of his students, and she qualified and showed through the Pan American Games on this horse and has gone back to her home island of Bermuda, and Ian has a ride. So a very new combination that needs to get to know each other.
Well, Ian's going to try to add his name to the list here this evening. He'd love to come back. He has, of course, been a winner of the Big Bend Challenge, named after his legendary horse. Not going to happen, though. Talk a little bit about the wall that came down, Nancy.
I'm surprised it hasn't come down a little bit more than it has. As Richard said, those blocks are very, very light, and they are. And if you touch them, unfortunately, what they do is slide, and then they just tip off. They don't have a cup like the rails do that can sometimes allow them to roll.
Can we call that a whisper jump?
I think so.
Okay. Back in action here a little bit for Captain Canada, 10-time Olympic veteran.
Well, he's really drawn a difficult lot here. I know he really very badly wanted to come to Toronto and show in front of his home fans, but really this combination has only been together a very, very short time. And, when you're jumping at this level, I always think it takes a year to get to know your horse, at least.
Perth, Ontario resident Ian Miller heading to the Longines Oxer to finish up. We have a score of 12 faults. Total of 12 faults altogether. Ian Miller and Teddy Duboscatel for Canada, and they had an even dozen with 3 knockdowns here in the opening round.
I think when you see Ian put a little bit more time into this horse, probably when he gets them to Wellington this winter, and he just jumped off to the right-hand corner of that jump, and I don't think that helped the rail stay up. And again, we've seen the back rail of that Greenhawk Oxer come down several times.
Okay, do horse on 1. Ready? 1, take 1.
Introducing our next rider, on course representing Ireland. Here is Connor Swale and Sita. The 9-year-old Holsteiner German-bred mare is owned by Sue and Ariel Grange. The rider has been a winner from Dublin, Ireland to Washington in the recent months.
Well, Connor's been a pretty strong winner here at the Royal Winter Fair all week. I know every rider holds his breath when they're holding the lead, and Connor's next to go. Sita's a new horse in Connor's string, and I know he's very, very high on this horse, but again, just on its learning curve. So this will be a big class for Sita tonight.
Exceptional rider. He has won all over the world this year as a major show jumping string, thanks to Sue Grange, and having a few back problems this week. We'll see how athletic he is here tonight.
You'd never know it by his results.
No.
I think he's won 3 or 4 classes.
Right. No, he is up for our leading rider here at the Royal Horse Show, but he had some major back problems the other day, and I think he had a couple visits with the doctor, and looks pretty smooth here.
Well, the thing that I like most about Connor's ride, oh my goodness, I thought it might stay. Oh, that was a long way away from that jump, but he got her there. Connor's always very, very balanced. He's always in the center of his horse, and I think that's what helps him jump so many clean rounds.
Now tonight for our Irish rider, hailing from Dublin, spends a great deal of time here in North America, and zeroing in on the Longines Oxer as he finishes up. Connor Swale for Ireland with the entry of Sue and Ariel Grange, the 9-year-old Holsteiner mare Sita with a score of 8 for the 2 knockdowns.
Coming through here, the triple combination. And watch this ride, the elbows going, oh my goodness, he was a mile away from that jump, and I think he just willed Sita to get over it. This jump down in the corner, I've been expecting it to come down all along, and it's almost like she looked between the first and second rail and had it down.
We continue on with our $75,000 Big Ben International Challenge presented by Hudson's Bay. The rider who is a traveling reserve for the Canadian team in the World Equestrian Games last year from Caledon. Let's welcome Chris Sorensen and Bobby. Chris, the owner and rider, he's up on the 13-year-old Dutch warm blood gelding.
Well, Chris is another Canadian rider that's building a nice string of horses, but this is, again, his go-to horse for a big class. He was 3rd in the Grand Prix at Bridgehampton just this summer.
So setting the scene over the first few fences here in the first round. We're looking at 4 clear so far, and this is the halfway point of opening round action for the Big Ben Challenge.
Tremendous scope there over that triple bar and the wall. A little chop down behind on that back rail.
He is feeling his way around the course here,
He sure is, and it's interesting. He's ballooning over some jumps, and then, as you say, having little rubs on the other ones. So we'll have to see if he can get it somewhere in the middle.
Triple combination doesn't seem to be a problem.
Whoa! Chris decided to add a stride there, and that did not work out at all. I think he'd like to redo that.
Negotiating through our Greenhawk Oxer vertical double combination coming up later on in the course. Angling into the vertical and the serpentine formation coming home for the rider from Caledon, Ontario.
And again, a nice scopy jump over the end. Yes, that's been a 4-stride line all along from the triple, and I think Chris would like to redo that.
So we have a score of 4 jumping. They also exceeded the 76-second time allowed and receiving 1 time fall for a grand total of 5 here in the opening round.
You can see him just really wallop that rail with the Liverpool, but it stayed. And here's where he got into problems. He just did not get the striding that he had wanted for that jump.
Halfway through, we have 4 for the time jump off so far for the Big Ben International Challenge. Here is the Grand Prix winning combination on Wednesday for the United States. McLean Ward from Brewster, New York, and H.H. Azure. Francois Matty and the Double H Farm listed as the owners. And this is a 9-year-old Belgian sport horse mare for 3-time Olympic veteran McLean Ward.
Well, I just can't say enough things about this horse. She is breathtaking, and you'll see what I mean once she gets going. And I often wonder whether McLean, each time he gets on, Peter, in a big combination like this, whether he just holds his breath, that please don't let me do anything wrong. She's truly amazing.
She made it look easy. 2-horse jump off, winning the Longines FEI World Cup jumping class on Wednesday night for McLean's 7th victory here at the Royal in that Grand Prix and World Cup Series. What a nice horse.
I know we always talk about Sapphire, his Olympic mount and other major games mounts that's now sadly deceased, as being his horse of a lifetime.
This is the horse of a lifetime.
Then this one comes along, and I think once this season gets finished, once he's finished at the Royal, she's going to have a big long rest, and then it's just going to be a plan for the Olympics next year for her. So everything will work backwards from there.
She doesn't seem bothered by anything. She just comes in and does her work. She did get a little bothered during the victory ceremony.
Her ears are always up.
Yes.
And of course, I can't say enough about the ride. I mean, just a fantastic ride by McLean and management by his team.
So about to try to add his name to the list. Our FEI, Longines FEI World Cup jumping winner on Wednesday night, and HH Azure, they'll be back to try for the 2 major spots here this evening.
Well, once again, she just absolutely takes my breath away, this mare. You can't say, well, she did this wrong or that wrong. She just does everything right, and it's just tremendous to watch her, and with such a fantastic rider as McLean on her back.
Next of our first round riders here from King, Ontario. How about a big welcome for Mac Cohn and Gasper Van Den Doorn from Chadburn Holdings Incorporated. And Mac, the Olympic veteran for our country, up on the 9-year-old Belgian warm blood mare, Gasper.
Mac was second in the Canadian Championships with this young mare, and she's another one I really like, and I know Mac is quite high on her. She's very, very inexperienced at this level, but boy, she's got all the power and jump, and got a pretty good rider on her back too.
So we note now the horse listed as a mare, but it is a gelding, Nancy, so we apologize for that, but we get that all corrected, and the Mac's new horse on course, jumping very well here early on. Nobody's really touched that wall except for one person tonight.
I thought the distance might be a little bit more of an issue, but it's actually riding quite nicely. I thought it's only 50 feet, and I thought the distance might be a bit short, but they're landing a little bit shallow off that triple bar, and then they're able to ride up to the wall, which is quite nice.
And Mac won his way into the international division by placing very well in the Greenhawk Canadian Championships on her first weekend of the Royal. Very excited to be a part of the mix.
That's a really wide oxer, and it's very, very square, meaning that the front rail and the back rail are completely level. And I think each horse that I've watched jump that and have it down, I just don't think that they've eyed up the width on takeoff.
And Mac Cohn with the Belgian warm blood gelding, Gasper Van Den Doorn from Chadburn Holdings. They finish up with a 2 knockdown effort and faulting at 2 fences, scoring 8.
Gained a young horse, and let's watch him come here. He's well up in the air in front, but again, just did not catch that width on that oxer, and I think the same with the last one. Max up in the air just fine, and Gasper just needs to learn to stay up in the air just a bit longer for those back rails.
Here's the 2002 World Show Jumping Champion representing Ireland. We welcome to the arena Dermot Lennon and his mount tonight, Fleur Lefort. Rebecca McGoldrick is listed as the owner of this 10-year-old Belgian warm blood mare.
Well, again, this is a mount of Canadian Rebecca McGoldrick, who trains with Dermot, so it's not a regular ride for him.
Now, Dermot came the longest way. He was the only rider out of our mix of 24 riders who qualified for the Royal Horse Show this year. They came directly from Ireland just to show this horse show. That shows you how much he loves being here at the Royal.
Well, it's great to have him here. We haven't seen him for quite a few years, Peter.
Truly a veteran, two-time World Equestrian Games, Team Gold European Championships. He was the very first Irish rider to win the individual World Championship in 2002. Very much of a veteran.
Won the Irish Sport Horse Council Classic in Dublin this summer on his other horse, Lulu. Oh, and he's a fast rider. If he's clean, he's a fast rider in the jump off.
Well, he certainly gets the most out of all his horses.
Let's see how he makes out down this line.
He had to change his plan earlier today because Lulu was going to be his mount for the Big Bend, but Fleur is rising to the occasion. Knocked down the penultimate effort and a little disobedience heading home.
Well, I don't think that Dermot quite got his eye on that jump. Whether Fleur got a bit distracted with the knockdown, and it is a bit of a hidden jump, and I think Dermot realized that the horse couldn't jump from the distance they were at, and very wisely pulled up.
Second of our two Irish riders in the lineup, Dermot Lennon from Ireland, and Fleur the fourth, finishing up with 12 jumping penalties, 3 for time, for a grand total of 15.
We see that rail coming down and then just making that turn, and the horse just not getting his eye on the jump at all, and Dermot very wisely, as I say, pulling out and trying it again.
Holding at 5 clear, and we have a total of 7 more to show. We welcome to the arena from Perth, Ontario, representing Canada, here is Jonathan Miller and Star Power. Jonathan up on the 14-year-old Dutch warm blood gelding, owned by Team Works. The rider, part of the World Equestrian Game effort in 2010 for Team Canada.
And there's Dad anxiously watching on. This actually was Ian's mount for quite a few years that Jonathan has taken over and is doing a super job with him. He was 5th in the Gilera class earlier this week here at the Royal.
Now, Nancy, why do you suppose Jonathan gets the ride and not Ian?
Well, to be honest, I'm not sure about that. The Miller family has intrigued me the last little while because they are trading off. Ian is showing Amy's Jumper Heroes here, and it's all in the family. I think I'll put it that way.
Bet you didn't know that Jonathan wanted to be a basketball player when he was growing up.
Well, I can't imagine. He's only about 6'5", so I can't imagine why that would come into his view. But I always think that Ian is so tall until I see Jonathan standing beside him. So far, so good for Jonathan and Star Power. Let's see this. Oxer jumped easily. Wow, that was really had to get his head sorted around and faced into fence number 11.
Problem free, he's clear so far in 1 to go over the Longines Oxer. And we have Canada represented in our time jump off, Star Power and Jonathan Miller with a clear round. That is clear round number 6 for tonight.
Well, just a great job Jonathan did with this horse. Absolutely super. A little skip off the ground there, and but watch here. This is where he's making his turn into fence number 11. I wasn't sure he was going to make that turn, and Jonathan did a fantastic job of getting his horse's mind on the job.
Introducing the third rider representing the country of Belgium in our international field. We welcome to the arena Francois Matty and Polinska de Al. Francois Matty and Team Harmony are the owners. This is a 12-year-old Celle Francais French mare.
Well, Francois loves coming to Toronto, and we love to have him here. He's great to watch. Polinska was second in the Grand Prix of London this summer. Peter, he loves the city of Toronto.
Well, he loves coming here, but I have to also tell you that he is probably the only rider of our 24 riders this week here at the Royal, which has been a 5-day show for the internationals that is shown in every class.
Oh, he's been terrific. He's got a nice string of horses, and he's, as you said, supported all the classes. Little rub behind, but stayed up.
So you think we could form a basketball team with Jonathan,
I'm
Ian,
thinking.
and Francois, right?
I'm thinking, and there that Liverpool jump has just come down for the first time. Really had to gallop forward to get that 4 strides put in.
Nancy, now how often do you think most of these European riders show? They compete every week. It probably just depends on how many horses they have, right?
Well, I think it is. I mean, they one of the reasons why so many people want to go into these FEI classes now is to get ranking and get invited to the shows, but it all depends on the horsepower that you have.
Even dozen for the rider for Belgium, Francois Menty and Polinska. They have a score of 12 here in the opening round.
Yeah, I think a little bit obviously disappointing, as I pointed out, that Liverpool with the panel behind, but I think this is horse is experienced enough. I don't think that was particularly the cause of it. The Greenhawk Oxer, that Oxer going in, we've had a lot of problems with, and I think there maybe Francois would like to be a bit closer to that jump.
Holding at 6 clear, we have 5 more to jump in the opening round. Here's a rider for the United States. She hails from Lexington, Kentucky. 21-year-old rider, was part of the U.S. effort in the 2012 Olympic Games. Here is Reed Kessler and Silana. She's up on a 13-year-old Belgian warm blood mare owned by the Kessler Show Stables of Kentucky.
Well, this is a long-time partnership. Silana has taken her to so many different major Grand Prix and world events. Just recently, she was second in the $400,000 RBC Grand Prix.
Well, Nancy, she also appeared with the United States team in one of the rounds in the Furicia Nations Cup final. It was held in Barcelona, Spain in September. Very much on the European scene, I would say most of the year. Spends her winters in Florida and some fall circuit action, Kentucky and here.
And I believe she does have her own yard in the Netherlands, so yes, she does get the opportunity to show there quite a bit. But they all love to come back to Florida in the wintertime.
Yes, they do. You know, it's fun to see riders such as Reed, myself, seeing the riders, McLean, everybody that were riding ponies. Just, you think that just like the other day, they were out riding pony hunters and competing as a junior, and here they are at the Olympic level.
Well, I remember specifically, Reed, you have to be 18 to go to the Olympics, and I think she was 18 in July, something like a month before the Olympic Games, so she just squeaked in, and she's squeaking into a clean round at the moment too. One more to go, and there it is.
On the way to a clear round for the American rider Reed Kessler and Silana. That is clear round number 7. 7 clear.
Well, absolutely no problem for Silana over the Greenhawk Oxer that we've seen so many times come down, and the Longines, another wide Oxer, just handling it beautifully and into the jump off.
Ready 8, white 8, counter around, thank you, ready 6.
We continue on. Here is the 22nd ranked rider in the Longines worldwide ranking list. She's celebrating her birthday today for the United States. Laura Crowd in the house with Andretti S. Stars and Stripes to the owners, and Andretti S is a 10-year-old Dutch warm blood gelding.
She's had great success with this horse this summer. It won the $85,000 Gold Cup Fidelity Classic and also second in the $200,000 Gold Cup World Cup Qualifier. So lots of big classes this summer.
Olympic gold in 2008 for Laura Kraut, and she appears in the winner's circle all over Europe. Spends her winters in Florida. It's just sort of like basically like Reed. Spends her winters in Florida competing, summertime in Europe, early fall, and then comes to the indoor circuit. So far so good. Coming down the line with the Liverpool, fence number 5 and 6. Sort of a trouble-free line.
We've only seen that Liverpool come down once, which surprised me a bit coming out of the corner there. Laura, of course, and her partner Nick Skelton have a great showing string in Europe, and a lot of students. Oh, this horse is just electric tonight. Looks fantastic.
We hope the horse gives her a birthday present.
She'd like that. She's had a little bit of tough luck this week, too. The odd rail just here and there, and would like to get into this jump off. A little bit of problem there on the turn, but the jump was good. One more to go. Oh,
and unfortunately, all the way to the very end, Laura Kraut here in the first round, a Big Ben winner in recent years. A great effort for Andretti S and Laura Kraut with a penalty of 4 at the last.
Well, it's a huge disappointment because the horse jumped fantastically around the whole course. And watch this, gets way up in the air, like way up in the air, but just did not get across that width. That's a heartbreaker. I think Laura could hardly believe it herself.
Showing next in the opening round, a Grand Prix winner and Nations Cup star for Team Canada. We welcome from Tottenham, Ontario, there is Aaron Ballard and Appy Kara. 10-year-old Dutch warm blood gelding guided by Aaron is owned by the Angelstone Partners of Rockwood, Ontario.
Well, Erin's had a fantastic week in the international division. She's got 3 nice horses here. Every one of them has won some prizes, and Appy Kara has just been a tremendous bonus to Erin's string this summer. Maybe not the easiest horse in the world to ride. I know Erin has to put a lot of time on him on the ground and so on, but the results have been great.
So I must ask you, Nancy, explain the colored stirrups.
Well, they're a new type of a stirrup, and they come in a multitude of colors. They're actually very nice, and the riders like them because they're very wide and they're very light on their feet. And I guess it's a bit of a fashion statement as well.
Why not?
Little rub there.
Probably Erin best known for all of her hunter accomplishments in the show hunter world, and it certainly is it's wonderful to see her with some nice jumpers.
Oh my goodness.
Such a great ride. Look at that effort.
I can't believe that they got through there, but they did. What a great riding job by Erin through that triple. She was almost stopped up at B.
She made that all happen. Stretched a little bit through there.
He really seemed to lose his focus a little bit. I watched him when he came around the turn. He was barely looking at the fence going into that line. And that's a wide oxer, and it's caught I don't know how many horses.
Single knockdown for Canada's Aaron Ballard and Appy Kara. Also another great effort tonight. They finish up their round with a score of 4 and the current fastest 4 into 8th place.
Well, watch this triple combination. She comes into A, he pops over that, And then he almost stops dead, goes straight in the air, and oh, what an effort Aaron made to get him over C. But then unfortunately it caught up to him. He just really struggled to get that back rail at the Greenhawk Oxer, but he hasn't been alone.
Stand by 6. And look 6, ready music, go music.
First half of the remaining 2 in the opening round lineup. He represents his home country of New Zealand. We introduce Sharn Wordley and Barnetta. Barnetta is under the ownership of Sky Group, and he is up on the 11-year-old Westphalian gelding. Sharn Wordley for New Zealand.
Well, Sharn came up this summer to do some of the CSI classes at Angelstone Farms and at Palgrave. This was my first opportunity to see this horse, and I was really impressed with him. It's really a lovely jumper, and Sharn does a great job riding him. He was second in the $212,000 Rolex U.S. Open Grand Prix.
One of our many Olympic veterans in the lineup. He went to the 2000 Olympic Games as a representative of New Zealand. He does reside in Ocala, Florida. I would say the majority of our foreign riders, with the exception of the Belgian group and Dermot Lennon, all reside here in North America. Compete very successfully. Up and coming string for this horse, or for this rider.
I think it's a very, very scopy horse, and just that whole first part of the course was just flawless. Sort of got a little bit staggery up in the air over that jump, but cleared it nicely. Triple coming up.
This is a well-deserved appearance for this rider. I think he rides under the radar a lot. He shows in a lot of competition, major Grand Prix classes, but not a lot with the big boys. And he is very much a part of the mix.
Well, he sure is, and I know he's a hard worker and he rides a lot of horses.
So he's flirting a little bit with the time here, Nancy. He heads down. 76-second time allowed. Just under. Just under that time allowed, and we have a clear round produced by New Zealand. Sharn Wordley and Barnetta giving us clear round number 8 with 1 to go.
Well, I think this is just a fantastic horse in Sharn's string. I think it's got all kinds of scope. It looks like it's got plenty of rideability. No problem there over the Greenhawk Oxer that we've seen come down so many times. Very, very nice.
8 to jump again, and here's the last to go in the first round of the $75,000 Big Bend International Challenge, presented by Hudson's Bay. From Boston, representing the United States, here's Charlie Jacobs and Cassini S. From the CMJ Sport Horses, a 9-year-old mare jumping in the last position.
And another young horse. I just think at 9 years of age, that's just heading into their Grand Prix career. Kasinja was 4th in the Grand Prix at New Albany in September, and actually 6th this week in the Gilera class here at the Royal.
Big time sporting family, the Jacobs family out of Buffalo. And Charlie is the CEO of the Boston Bruins Hockey Club. So carrying on a family tradition. He told me he loves this arena. He thinks this is a perfect arena, obviously for a hockey rink, but perfect arena for a horse show.
And Peter, he could go on our basketball team.
Yes, he could actually. He could be a shooting guard. We got the tall ones up front.
Well, this arena is fantastic now. I mean, when you look at all the indoor facilities, I think the Royal Winter Fair is just right up there, if not at the top, between the stabling and the warm-up area, and of course being in the great city of Toronto. Gain that's struggling over that Oxer.
You think he looked down, looked like the horse got a little distracted going through that.
And I think those are big boxy standards, and I don't know whether that distracts the horse, but I think all in all, whether it's the color, but they're just getting caught with that width, and Strangely enough, it seems when they have that one down, they're having the Longines end one down as well.
Grand finale of our first round, and representing the United States, Charlie Jacobs with 2 knockdowns, finishing up the first round with 8 faults.
So he got this 3 strides just fine, but again, so many of the horses, they haven't just tapped that jump down. They've really just flattened it. They're just not reading that back rail, and the Longines coming as well.
While we are preparing and we continue on, the Big Bend International Challenge will be televised on TSN in December. We are going to introduce the host of our television, our telecast, Adam Cromartie. We're going to see if he can get a first take on all the introductions and the takeouts to commercial. Good luck there, Adam.
Well, we've already seen some amazing action this evening here in the Big Ben International Challenge, and we'll be right back here on TSN. Some of the very biggest names in the world of show jumping are here. We've already got a clear or two, and we'll be right back here on TSN. Well, the Royal Horse Show always attracts some of the very biggest names in the world, and they are enjoying some top-class sport this evening here in the Big Ben International Challenge, which continues next on TSN. Welcome back to the Royal Horse Show, where we pick up the action once again in the Big Ben International Challenge. Welcome back to the Royal Horse Show, where the action continues here on TSN with the Big Ben International Challenge. Welcome back. We've got some clears and we head straight back to the action now on TSN with the Big Ben International Challenge. Well, in the first round, we saw a total of 20 combinations come through, and it is 8 that progress through to that jump-off. Let's pick up the action and find out who's going to take the title of the Big Ben International Challenge for 2015.
About to see our first horse in the jump-off. Let's take you around the short track for the time jump-off. They'll start over fence number 9 along the corner with the brick pillars. They'll take a left-hand turn and jump the Trillium Oxer, the green and white Oxer heading towards the in-gate. Right-hand turn over the Hudson Bay vertical with the Liverpool beneath. Straight down to the Johnny Walker, fence number 6, around to 7B and C. Down to 7B and C, around to number 10B. 12 and 13. So the Royal Agricultural Winter Fair vertical, the black and white vertical, and the Longines Oxer are the last 2 efforts in the time jump off. Time allowed to be 47 seconds, and we'll see who comes home for the thrill of victory in the Big Ben International Challenge presented by Hudson's Bay. 8 to return. Check out the starting list for our time jump off for the Big Ben Challenge starting list. As we see the 8 horse and rider combinations about to return, will lead into our closing ceremonies and the leading international rider and top Canadian rider and horse. That'll be a part of our closing here on Saturday night. Jump off is ahead of us, 8 to return, and we'll have our first with us in just a moment. So checking out the course diagram here tonight for our time jump off. A chance for see many of our riders, their trainers, family members, checking things out for our course and the jump off that is ahead of us. The tiebreaker that we'll see who carries home the top prize and heads to the winner's circle for tonight's Big Ben International Challenge. Horses and riders in the hitching ring area, and we see our first rider on the way up through the chute, and we are about to get underway. The tiebreaker deciding round against the clock for the Big Ben International Challenge presented by Hudson's Bay. Cantering through the chute, we get underway, ladies and gentlemen, with our tiebreaker, and we welcome back the Pathfinder from round number 1. Here's Georgina Bloomberg for the United States and Kalino 3. Gotham Enterprises sending in the 11-year-old Hessen Warm Blood Gelding. This is Kalino 3.
Peter, it seems like a long time since she's been in the ring, and that can sometimes be a little bit hard on the horses too, to then come back in and fire right back up. But I think Georgina will get the job done.
Take 6. Ready 5. Take 5.
I think the riders are going to be very happy that the oxer of the Green Hawk jump has been removed for the jump off.
I would agree. I would agree. Let's see how this combination tackles the early round. They head to the Trillium fence.
Nice inside turn
yes.
there, Peter. Really nice inside turn and jumped it beautifully.
That was an oxer used in the Pan American course this past summer. It's a gallop down and now across the center. We remove the A part of the triple.
Wondering if there is an inside turn that somebody may try there.
That's what I was wondering when I looked at the course diagram. I'm not sure if I saw any rider walking that inside turn. 2 jumps to go. The Royal to Longines. Coming home for Georgina Bloomberg.
A double clean.
And all the way to the clear round for our Pathfinder from round number 1. And Georgina Bloomberg and Colino finish up their round with a time of 45.66. 45.66. And that will be the target clear here in the jump off.
Well, I'm loving this jump off because there are a lot of options for the brave. And you have to know your horse very well. And this was a tremendous jump off round by Georgina, and she's thrown the gauntlet down. She was fast enough, maybe not the fastest, but she's clean.
Well, the twin brothers from Belgium, 22-year-old Nicolas Philippert will be the first on the return. He is up on H&M Harley Bishop. This is an 8-year-old gelding that's shown by Nicolas Philippert from Belgium.
I'm also wondering if there's any if anybody will go in after fence number 4 inside the Longines clock. We'll watch for that. I watched this horse in a jump off the other night, and it's deceivingly quick for a seemingly big horse. He's really quite quick.
Activating the timer is going to make that real cut, and you see how many riders take a real shortcut to a very wide oxer, actually.
Oh, super. Just 6 strides around the corner to that Liverpool.
Are they leaving out any strides on that one line there, Nancy?
They're not going down that 5 to 6. Nice roll back.
There's your inside turn. It cost them.
That's what happens. I mean, I think you have to try it to be the winner, but you've got to leave the jumps up, and that's what Georgina did.
They took the inside turn as they headed towards the Green Hawk vertical, and the knockdown penalty of 4 faults up on the scoreboard. 41.93 for Nicola and his mount, H&M Harley.
And here he comes now to the Liverpool, no problem. But a great inside turn there. Unfortunately, he paid the price by having the Green Hawk vertical down.
Georgina Bloomberg and Colino showing the way with the only clear of the 2 so far, 45.66 for the target. Let's welcome back Beezy Madden for the United States and Breitling LS. Up on the 9-year-old Dutch warm-blood stallion from the ownership of Abigail Wexner of Ohio.
Again, one of the younger up-and-coming horses in Beezy's Grand Prix string. Beezy will have a strategy all mapped out.
Push to that Trillium oxer from the Pan American Games, and now down the steady line from the Hudson Bay vertical to the Johnny Walker oxer.
Nice inside turn. Unfortunately, there you go. Once again, the rail comes down. You have to try it, but you have to be accurate.
And she took the inside cut as well. Not necessarily probably the reason for the Green Hawk vertical coming down. Very handy horse.
And no problem over the last.
Beach man for the United States, Casanova, New York resident with 2 knockdowns on the course, finishing their round with 8 faults. They hit the finish line at 44-21, the 8 faults putting them into 3rd place.
Again, her strategy was good. Unfortunately, just a couple of rails came down. Let's have a look here. A very blind corner, and to Breitling just did not have form there at all. Didn't lift his forearms and had that jump down. And pretty much the same with the Greenhawk.
Approaching the halfway point of our 8-horse field for the tiebreaker, and we welcome back the second of the 2 brothers from Belgium. Here's Olivier Philippert and H&M Legend of Love. Up on the 9-year-old mare, Legend of Love. Just the 1 clear so far, and Georgina Bloomberg as the pathfinder in both rounds, 45-66 for the target.
Well, although she wasn't fast, Peter, she did put the pressure on of that clean round. Now everybody else has to chase her, and they have to take chances to do that.
Always a very interesting strategy if you really can lay one down to begin with and clear. Everybody gets in their head, gets in their head a little bit.
Very good turn around the Longines clock.
So in the inside cut from the CN Tower, nicely done through the combination. Another inside cut.
Okay, this is looking fast. He's made both those inside turns. The jumps are still up.
Got to beat 45-66. That's the time to beat. Coming home. Very clean and fast, and right to the top of the list, 42-03, and the new leader here in the Big Bend International Challenge, right to the top of the list.
And here we're going to see him leaving a stride out, going down that line, which really helped his elapsed time. Beautiful turn back. No problem over B and C. Another terrific inside turn to the Greenhawk vertical. And over the last.
So coming back in their original order for the first round, let's welcome back our Canadian representative in the jump-off, Jonathan Miller and Star Power. Owned by Teamworks, and Jonathan's mount, a 14-year-old Dutch warm blood gelding. The new target, 42-03.
And I know Ian, knowing the horse so well, would have given Jonathan the benefit of his ideas of exactly how to ride this jump-off course. Picking up a good starting gallop.
Kind of a conservative approach, though, wouldn't you say?
It was a bit. But that may have been his plan, to make the inside turn.
So with a knockdown at our Hudson Bay signature jump.
And going to go the outside option, so he is really going to be up on the time.
Only Canadian rider in the time jump off. He's going to get a piece of the action, but not what he wanted.
But finishing up 48-10.
Coming home with a penalty of 4 jumping faults and also 2 time faults. It's a time fault for each second over the time allowed of 47. And they have a score of 6, 48-10 for the time, and currently with 6 faults in the 4th place.
Just see that knockdown at the Liverpool. And nice jump over that Oxer. Bit of disappointment on Jonathan's face.
No, not yet. 36, big 6, go music.
Back for the jump off, time to beat 42.03 as we welcome McLean Ward for the United States and H.H. Azur. Owned by Francois Metti and the Double H Farm, and H.H. Azur, a 9-year-old Belgian sport horse mare.
McLean introducing sort of an inside cut there to Azur, so she's not surprised by it.
7 tight on the horse, please. Ready, 7, take 7.
Winner of the World Cup qualifier on Wednesday night. Any time that
she's
that
amazing.
she's going to take is going to be taken in the air. She is just unbelievable.
We talk about the riders loving to be in Toronto. This horse loves to jump.
Yep, she
Look at
sure
this.
does.
She has a great time. So attentive.
McLean opting to go outside. I think he's working on her turning ability in the jump off.
She jumps so high, you wonder how fast she really can go. Look at that.
And 5 strikes to the last, and he gets away with it.
How about that, ladies and gentlemen? We have a new class leader, 40.43, and our World Cup winner on Wednesday night takes over the lead, 40.43. Wow.
Well, that was a major daring move to the last jump. Look how much scope this mare has. She just is so thrilling to watch. She really is. Now watch this ride. He was a stride away at least from that jump, and she just made it look easy.
7.
2 more to go in our jump off. We welcome back our rider for the United States. Here is Reed Kessler out of Lexington, Kentucky, and she's up on the 13-year-old Belgian warm blood mare, Solana. 40.43, the new target. McLean Ward riding on top of the Big Bend International Challenge leaderboard.
Well, this is a really experienced combination. They've been in this pressure position before, and I think Reed will definitely do the inside turns with her horse.
He's taking a shot at it.
Nice slice to the Liverpool. Nice, just met that in stride. Can she get inside? Yes, she can. Now she's
Zeroing in
got to
on
gallop.
these last 2 jumps. See how much of an angle. Solana's jumping very well. Got a beat on the lead. Oh, they clear around. They were fast, but not fast enough. The time of 41.44, and they move into the second position. Great try for Reed Kessler for the United States.
Inside turns all the way around. Solana just absolutely jumping beautifully. You're going to see her cut inside here to the Greenhawk vertical, and see a big smile on that rider's face.
So the grand finale of our Big Bend International Challenge jump off. We welcome back from New Zealand. Here is Sharon Wordley and Barnetta by the Sky Group. Barnetta, an 11-year-old Westphalian gelding, trying to zero in on McLean's leading time with H.H. Azur at 40.43.
Again, another very scopy horse. Sharon opting to go around and not try that inside turn. Perhaps hoping for a cautious, clean round.
Well, Nancy, we do have 4 clears out of the 7 that have jumped off so far. And it does look a little bit on the conservative side.
I think this is a new mount to him too, Peter, and I think he's very happy to be in the jump off with the horse, and perhaps just wants to keep the horse's confidence at a good high point at the end of the season. Definitely just coasting around to get hopefully a nice clear jump off round.
It looks like McLean Ward's going to be the winner of our back-to-back major events here at the Royal Horse Show. And Barnetta and Sharn Wordley finishing their round up with a score of 8 faults. They had 8 time penalties on the course, and their time was 54-34 with 8 time faults, and will finish up in the 8th position.
Well, Sharn just was not in it to win it tonight. Again, a younger ride for him, a newer ride for him, and I think he was just trying to solidify their partnership, and I think he's got a very exciting horse coming ahead into 2016.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the award ceremony coming up, along with the leading rider and Canadian-owned leading titles, as we wind things down here on our Saturday night. The Big Ben International Challenge presented by Hudson's Bay, and the ceremonies is ahead of us. Just a reminder, we do have showing coming up tomorrow. We have one more day left for the Royal Horse Show. Some of our top children's hunters, pony jumpers, and junior jumpers will be part of our closing day on Sunday, our final day ahead of us for the 2015 Royal Horse Show and Royal Agricultural Winter Fair. So our top competitors, the top 6, will be returning in just a moment. We'll share with you the award ceremony and also the various titles that go to our leading international rider, leading Canadian rider, and leading Canadian-owned horses. That'll be part of our closing here on Saturday night.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome your winner of the Big Ben International Challenge for the USA, McLean Wards and Double H Azure. McLean, this horse has been on fire. We saw you win the World Cup qualifier here just a few nights ago. What was the kind of secret out there tonight? Where did you make up the time?
Well, what can I say? What a horse. Everybody can see that. So it's not so good at the prize giving yet. It wasn't as easy a jump-off situation as the other night. I knew I had to take a bit of a shot, and she just responded incredible. Most horses can't jump the last fence from where I left, and she didn't even work for it, so all the credit to her.
And it's kind of hard to believe, but she's not the most experienced horse in the field.
No, as you can see, she's a little rattled by the atmosphere, but when she sets her mind to her job, she's all business, and the talent is I didn't know existed in a horse, to be honest.
Well, it's one to keep an eye on. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, your winner for the USA, McLean Wards.
Thank you very much, Adam. And making the presentation to our winner will be from Hudson's Bay, Mr. Michael Crotty, Executive Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer, and Diane Bainbridge. Mr. Crotty will be presenting a Hudson's Bay point blanket to our winning effort here this evening as H.H. Azure and McLean Ward join us here in the winner's circle for the award ceremony. And as if you were here with us on Wednesday night, H.H. Azure enjoying the victory, very excited about yet another win here at the Royal Horse Show. So we'll see if we can zoom in very quickly with the award ceremony Michael Crotty, Executive Vice President, Chief Marketing Officer, and Diane Bainbridge joining us as we present the traditional Hudson Bay point blanket for our winning effort. Also, the winning rider receiving a special engraved bottle of Johnny Walker Blue label. Okay, we might have a very quick photo. That's what we call a ride-by in our presentation. Well, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we are going to ask you all to kindly please rise in honor of the victory tonight by McLean Ward. We ask you to please rise for the playing of the Anthem of the United States of America. Well done. You've seen one of the very best in the winner's circle tonight, H.H. Azure and McLean Ward. And we are going to acknowledge the balance of our riders in the victory gallop tonight for our top 6. And ladies and gentlemen, we hope that you enjoyed the Big Bend International Challenge presented by Hudson's Bay. And we are going to ask McLean. We'll make sure we get him up to the Hudson Bay fence for just a quick photo. And then we're going to enjoy the round of honor. Second place in our class went to Solana and Reed Kessler for the United States. H&M Legend of Love finished up in the 3rd position with Olivier Philippert for Belgium. Kalino and Georgina Bloomberg for the Gotham Enterprises in 4th. H&M Harley Bishop with Nicola Philippert in 5th. Star Power and his mount of Jonathan Miller in 6th. Okay, McLean, it's all yours, and we have the 2nd victory. He has won both of our major events this year, the FEI, the Longines FEI World Cup jumping final, and on to the Big Bend Challenge here tonight. Here's your winner tonight for the United States, McLean Ward and H.H. Azure. Some of the very best in our show jumping game, as always, here at our Royal Horse Show. And saluting our winning effort, Reed Kessler in 2nd, followed by Nicola Philippert, Olivier Philippert, and we have Georgina Bloomberg and Nicola, as well as Jonathan Miller. Congratulations. There's your winner. He's won both of our major events here at the Royal Horse Show for 2015. How about it, ladies and gentlemen, one of the very best in the game, McLean Ward and his top mount, H.H. Azure. Now, 3 awards that accompany our ceremonies tonight, and we have the presentation coming up, first off, of the leading Canadian rider. Leading Canadian rider is an award receiving the Lieutenant Colonel Stuart C. Bate Memorial Trophy. This award going to the Canadian rider with the highest number of points. Mr. Peter Cullen will join us on behalf of the Royal Horse Show. Peter, our Royal Horse Show chairman. And we are going to congratulate the leading Canadian rider, Jonathan Miller from Perth, Ontario. So this is the first of our 3 awards that accompany our international division. Peter Cullen presenting to Jonathan Miller as the leading Canadian rider. Finishing up with a total of 8 points in the category. Finishing up in 6th place here tonight. That's all he needed. earning the title by 1 point over 2 of his other teammates. So the sash in place, and a trophy presentation to our leading Canadian rider. Congratulations to Jonathan.